ladies and gentlemen, and it's Brian Redgriff with my review of the Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia. Honestly, pay-per-view card looking pretty well stacked, pretty exciting, it's a nice night looking, right? The match types, two Elimination Chambers, a no holds barred match, Ronda Rousey's first match back. Overall, it's a strong looking card, but will it delivered? Does it delivered? Let's find out in my review of the Elimination Chamber. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it okay? Is it the best Saudi Arabia show? Is it the worst? Let's find out, because these shows usually have a bad reputation of being just, glorified live events and so. So is the Elimination Chamber any different? Let's find out in my review. The very first match of the night was a Tribal Chief Roman Reigns versus Goldberg, in which the champion came out first. I always say this, the champion's never supposed to come out first, damn it. And, well, the Spear versus Spear, 2 years in the making. Goldberg's last possible match, this is his last match in the contract. So, if he won, clearly he was going to resign. So, was Goldberg going to win his last match? Was Roman going to retain? Well, honestly, Roman retained, thank God. Last time Roman beat Kevin Owens, and he later on beat on The Fiend Bray Wyatt. 2 crimes which should have never happened, and we didn't need a third crime again. But the winner here tonight was Roman Reigns, thank God, in which my friend Jordan said, easily his easiest victory, as this match was not very long, not particularly good in my opinion. To be honest, not much really happened of anything. I mean, was it terrible Goldberg usual? No, it wasn't a terrible Goldberg usual, but it wasn't his best either. And if this is the last match, goodbye, see ya, never hope to never see you again. You had a great career a long time ago. Let's just leave it like that. Roman Reigns won with the guillotine. He kicked out of 2 spears. Well, didn't kick out. He got hit by 2 spears from Goldberg, both times preventing the jackhammer from happening. I guess he didn't want his neck almost broken like Taker happened. Or almost happened, to be exact. Thank God. He probably said backstage, I'm not taking a jackhammer. Last time he nearly killed Taker. He botched it on The Fiend. No, thank you. Not on me. Roman didn't even hit the spear. He did hit a Superman punch. Like I said, he won with the guillotine. Goldberg passed out. It's a different victory to win with the guillotine, not the usual spear. And, hey, he beat Goldberg with a submission. Okay, that's cool, I know, but overall, honestly, the match was pretty forgettable. Nothing special. I was hyped for it. The video package, the crowd was hyped, so I was like, I got hyped. But for it being something that was 2 years in the making, yeah, we should have kept it at 2 years ago and never looked back. We should have it's whatever. It is what it is. If this is his last match, so be it. Like I said, I won't miss this current Goldberg. So, Roman Reigns wins, but honestly, the match itself gets a damn for me. So, next up was the Women's Elimination Chamber. So, this match was good. Like, I personally like it. Like the Rumble before this, last month. I stated where I was a sucker for Rumble. I'm also a sucker for Elimination Chamber. So usually as you do the things right, I'm gonna be a fan of it. And I was a fan of this match. And I had a little issue, but I'll say why. So the Elimination Chamber this year started with Liv Morgan and Nikki, almost a superhero, which was, a good way to start. It was a pretty good opening. Doudrop would enter and dominate and destroy, mostly Liv Morgan. I mean, Nikki too, but mostly Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan was just getting destroyed. And really, that's what Doudrop's in there in the match for. She ain't gonna win it, especially after that horrendous match last month. But she can be there to destroy. Then was Rhea Ripley. Then the 4 of them were going at it. Rhea then eliminated Nikki because obviously that's the feud they're doing. Then Alexa comes in, which Alexa's back. Yay, love it. This is amazing. Liv Morgan, she takes out Doudrop with I think it was a sunset powerbomb from the turnbuckle, if I recall. It was great. Big moment for Liv Morgan. And then Alexa takes out Liv Morgan, which, okay, it makes sense. At least they gave her that moment with Doudrop. But then Bianca takes out Rhea, and then Bianca wins by taking out Alexa. And that's where my problem is. I have no problem with Bianca Belair. I think she's honestly, I like her. I think she's good. But if Alexa wasn't gonna win this match, why bring her back right now? Like, was now the time for her to come back? Does she have a strong showing? Yes. You know, was she in the final two? Yes. But should she have won? I think so. I mean, I understand why Bianca won. It makes sense too. Why? I mean, this whole thing's been building on since SummerSlam, right? The 26-second loss. So this whole long storytelling would be that she's there to get her revenge on Becky. But it just, I don't know. I feel like Alexa coming back should have meant Alexa wins. And the crowd even started to boo a little bit when it became clear that Bianca was going to win. Again, nothing against Bianca. I do really like her, but I feel like Alexa should have won here. But that issue aside, the match was good, so I'll give it an up from me. Something that was weird though, real quick, was that when they were coming out in entrances, when Nikki came out, she came out fourth. Usually she would have gone to the cage, and she didn't. And then Nikki came out. I mean, not Nikki. Nikki was the one running around. Then Liv came out, and she also didn't go to the cage. Alexa did, even though she came last. So, what was next? Well, it was Ronda Rousey's first match back with Naomi versus Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville, in which this match, because of from SmackDown, if you watch, Ronda Rousey would have one arm behind her back. I don't necessarily know how I feel about this match, because to be honest with you, I feel like that stipulation kind of limited the match to a certain degree, right? The match was not going to be as good as if Ronda didn't have one arm behind her back. Now, that was probably done just so you don't get the full Ronda Charlotte experience, because they want you to experience that at WrestleMania. So it makes sense, but it kind of hinders this match because Ronda can't really go all out. So it's mostly to Naomi to carry most of the weight of the match, and I personally don't care too much for Naomi. Never have, probably never will. So that kind of limited my enjoyment of the match. It wasn't terrible. I mean, Sonya and Charlotte dominated almost all of the match, as you would expect, with one woman having one arm behind her back. Ronda did have some time to shine in there, even with one arm, kicking and flipping and doing all that stuff. And it was fine, but again, there was only so much she could do. And for a good chunk of the match, she was just taking a beat down, honestly. And I'm surprised Ronda and Naomi won the way they did, because to be honest, it would have made more sense for the heels to win, in my opinion. It would have made more sense to me than them winning, because I would assume Ronda's going to win at WrestleMania. I want to hope so, because if not, that's going to just release the Raging Redgrave. And then I guess you could do Naomi and Sonya one-on-one at WrestleMania too, and then that's where they both get their wins back. But nope, they won here. And man. So Ronda hit the Piper's Pit on fucking Sonya Deville, and then did the arm bar even with one arm, all while Charlotte watched. Charlotte did nothing to help her. She was just watching as it happened. And then when the match ended, Charlotte and Sonya were walking side by side to the back. Like, what? Like, she just let herself be put in an armbar. What? There better be some follow-up from Sonya to Charlotte. Like, you let that happen to me. Probably not necessarily. The match, honestly, is mixed. So, in whether to give it an up or a down, I gotta look at it. Am I ever going to watch this match again? No. Ronda Rousey's had many great matches in her WWE career. This was probably one of the weakest ones. This was probably one I'm never going to rewatch, because it's just, there was really nothing here. And it's a shame, because I love Ronda Rousey. I love her return on Raw, that she came back. And I love, she being a Mania. But unfortunately, to me, in my personal opinion, this match is, I don't know, I just was not feeling it. And to me personally, it's going to get a down. But I'm still excited for WrestleMania for her and Charlotte. So, down now. Here's a match kind of was all, there was like no logic here. Because, okay, so it was Drew McIntyre versus Moss in a no horse bar. Okay, let's be honest here. Baron Corbin was getting in the way, or Happy Corbin, here and there. But to be honest with you, this is no disqualification, false count, anywhere. There was no reason for Corbin to be going out and leaving Moss alone, and then decide, let me get involved now, and then leave Moss alone. Oh, let me get. Realistically, they have the numbers game. Realistically, the two of them could have beat Drew McIntyre's ass. So to me, that was just like lacking in logic. Why is these two guys not just beating the fuck out of Drew? Whatever. Yeah, it was, it was them two, and then Corbin will go outside, and Drew will make a comeback, and Corbin will go back inside. So. At one point, Moss took a really bad, horrendous bump. I got scared. I'm like, oh my god, is he okay? I got worried. It was bad. It was bad. Overall, Drew McIntyre won when he Claymored Moss, and he had the sword when he did it. He Claymored him with the sword. Before that, Corbin went to try to, stop him from the Claymore. McIntyre took a swing with the sword. Like, dude, you realize you connect, you kill him, you're going to jail. What are you going to tell the cops? It was a false count anywhere match. Anything goes. No, you will go to jail, sir. So, yeah. It just, come on now. He did the Claymore with the sword in hand. It was a cool view. And he won 1, 2, 3. It's a McIntyre and Corbin or Mania. I hope not. I'm not. That doesn't sound Mania match to me. Personally, the match wasn't even all that great, even for a false count anywhere match. I was not really into it. Me personally, again, this was also a down. Next up was Becky Lynch versus Lita in Lita's first singles match in 16 years. So to say that, I guess that she's had tag matches here and there, moments like that. But to say that there was pressure to see if she could still truly go, yes. And as me personally, that was always my favorite growing up. This was a big thing. And I love Becky, and seeing my childhood favorite in Lita come back, big match, feel, Saudi Arabia, pay-per-view, great. So, did it deliver? Absolutely, it delivered. Honestly, Lita can still go. Lita put in a hell of a performance. The match was good. Hell, it took, yes, Becky won, which should have been obvious. Lita wasn't going to win. She's not Goldberg. Yeah, Lita wasn't going to win. And when Bianca won the Chamber, it became obvious that Becky had to retain so they could build to that Becky and Bianca that we've been building up since almost SummerSlam. So that was no given. But the match itself delivered. The match itself was good. And Lita, honestly, at one point I really thought she was going to win. She hit the twist of fate after failing to do so many times. And then she went to the top and she did the moonsault. And for just 1 second I believed it. And Corey Graves even commented on that. If you did not believe Lita was going to win, I don't know what you're watching. He's absolutely right. That moment just sucked me in. I'm like, wait a minute, can she win? Was she pull this off? Has she? I would have been okay with it, but she didn't, unfortunately. But it's alright. It makes sense for Becky to win. And like I said, the match itself was really good. And she had a strong performance. Not only did she perform great, she kicked out of the manhandle slam to one, so it took two of them. On top of the fact that she took a lot of damage from the armbar, so to say she was protected in the match, she was. And honestly, if she wants to wrestle a few more times in the future, in my book, that is fine by me, because honestly, the match itself was pretty fast-paced too, and both competitors had it all. And clean victory for Becky. Becky looks strong. Lita looks great. Honestly, this match gets an up from Brian Redgrave. So next up was the Usos versus the Viking Raiders. So this match did not happen. The Viking Raiders were coming down the ramp. Raid. And they got raided because then the Usos just completely attacked them, destroyed them. And I guess they were too hurt that the match couldn't happen. That's one of the Usos yelled, "Not tonight! Not tonight!" And that was it. That was it for the Usos and the Viking Raiders. Why they went this route? I don't know. Was the pay-per-view too long? Maybe. My thinking, my just prediction is that maybe, just maybe, WrestleMania is where it all ends for the Bloodline. Maybe that's where Roman drops the belt to Lesnar, and that's where the Usos drop the belts as well. The whole Bloodline falls apart, and maybe the Viking Raiders is the team to do it at WrestleMania. Because why else wouldn't we get the match here? Like, it just doesn't, to me, it just makes no sense to me personally. It's the only thing I can think about as to why this went the way it did. Are the Viking Raiders the right choice to end the Usos? I'll leave that up for debate. That's up to you, for you to decide. Me personally, I don't have a problem with the Viking Raiders, but are they the right ones? I don't know. We'll see if I'm right or wrong, but regardless of it, the match didn't happen here, and I wonder why. But that's what I think. So yeah, the Usos just destroyed the Viking Raiders and just left the building, and that was it. I'm not gonna give this an up or a down because it wasn't a match. I was a little disappointed because I wanted to see the match, but at the same time, it's like, okay, fine. I guess we're not having this match. So yeah, I'm not giving this neither an up or a down. It just kind of happened. We'll leave it at that. And then to close the night off was the Man Elimination Chamber, which was Austin Theory, AJ Styles, Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, and Riddle. This chamber match is gonna be one or two ways. You either loved it or you hate it. There's honestly no in between with the way WWE has booked this match, and it's kind of hard to say. I'm not even sure how I feel about it. So, leading into the match, okay, let's just say it. Brock Lesnar won the match. Brock Lesnar won the WWE title, and that was kind of obvious. Reports came out of the Rumble that he had no plans for the WWE title or Mania right now, or Bobby. And then they were talking about the champion versus champion. Dave Meltzer reported, and everybody was reporting on that. And it's true. Here we are. The Brock won, champion versus champion at WrestleMania. And so leading up to this mentality, I didn't want that. I did not want that. I wanted Bobby to retain or Riddle to pull it off, Rollins, AJ. Hell, even Theory. It was anybody but Brock. But that's not what happened. And then the way things went here, it was a little confusing as to why they went like that. We've seen it happen before, but here it's Brock. So what happens? Here we go. Austin and Seth start the match. It's funny nobody ever talks about how Theory and Seth have some history, but whatever. So they start the match. Riddle comes in. But before Riddle came in, there was a buckle bomb, right? That Seth Rollins did on Theory onto the pod where Bobby Lashley was in. That KO Bobby Lashley from the inside. So Bobby Lashley never even made it inside the match. He was KO. Riddle comes out. They're fighting while Theory was dead the entire time from that buckle bomb. It looked devastating. It really did. So they're fighting. And here we go. They're attending to Lashley nonstop. And then AJ comes in. And then Bobby, by that point, is out of the match. They took him to the back. The champion is out of the match. So I'm thinking Bobby has to come back at some point in the match. Bobby has to come back. He ain't gonna drop the belt like this. They really would be foolish to have him drop the belt like this. Like, this would be stupid. He's the champ. How can you win a chamber when he's the champ? So Bobby's taken out. Next up, then Bobby's supposed to enter the match, but Bobby's not in the pod. Bobby's been taken to the back. So Brock Lesnar does the Brock Lesnar things and breaks his pod and enters and just starts murdering everybody with close line to Theory and close line to AJ. But then that's when something I predicted to my friend Jordan happened. Bobby was already out the match, and then here comes Lesnar, F5 to Seth Rollins. Seth is out. F5 to Riddle. Riddle's out. F5 to AJ. AJ's out. So it only leaves Theory. And that really kind of annoyed me because these are all great talents, right? And people always argue why feed so much people to Brock like this? And honestly, in a way, it's kind of crazy when you consider like Seth Rollins beating Brock Lesnar in the past. From this performance, it didn't even look like that, right? That he could do that. Riddle, I was kind of excited because we could see Riddle and Lesnar. That's something that's, Riddle's wanted for a long time, and we didn't get it here because he got quickly eliminated. It's same thing from the Rumble. He got quickly eliminated by Lesnar, so it's like, AJ Styles, he didn't beat Brock, but he had a great match with him in the past. So for him to come in and eliminate all three, like, honestly, making them look like jobbers, it's a little frustrating. Because if he's gonna win, sure, he have won this way. I don't know if that was the right way. So then it's him and Theory. Theory's running away, and that was probably the funniest thing as he's screaming, "Oh my God!" running around. It was honestly hilarious. It was hilarious. I was here cracking up. And then Lesnar started beating him with suplexes and all that. Surprisingly, I honestly thought it was going to be a straight murder. Theory went for a low blow and then a DDT. And he was just on the offensive, and I don't know. I'm like, I know he ain't going to win, but I'm like, wow, he's getting in some offense. I'm like, wow, I'm pretty impressed that at least they're letting him do that. And, and then obviously he didn't get the 3. Brock got up and started running away again, in which Theory tried to escape. He made it to the top, almost actually went out of the cage to sell the chamber itself. I don't know if there was a hole or if he just fit through the change. I don't know what it was. Lesnar climbed. They were on the top. Here's Lesnar just fucking smashing fucking the shit out of Theory against the glass. Boom, boom, boom. And then probably a holy shit moment, right? Nowadays in wrestling, it's hard to create holy shit moments because we've seen just about everything. So Lesnar picks up Theory and F5's Theory from the top of the chamber pot until the outside of the chamber. Not outside of the ring chamber, but outside of the ring, but inside the chamber. And it was just a nasty fucking fall. I was like, oh my god, Theory is dead. He's dead, dead, dead. And Brock celebrating, on top of the pod. Comes down, throw him in the ring. 1, 2, 3. Brock Lesnar is your winner. And, before this had happened, before this had ended, Michael Cole had already informed us that Bobby Lashley has suffered a concussion. He was in concussion protocol. So we had a champion. So that's where I'm a little bothered by it, because have we seen this type of dominance inside the chamber before? Yes, we've seen Shayna Baszler completely kill and eliminate all 5 competitors before. We've seen Braun Strowman eliminate 4 competitors before and be eliminated by Roman. We've seen dominant performances, but those were for a number 1 contender spot. So when Shayna did it, we were building Shayna because she was brand new to the main roster. And we were building Shayna. We wanted to create a new monster, a new star. She needed to look strong towards Becky. It made sense when it happened there. It made sense when it happened with Braun Strowman. But to do it for the belt and to not even have the champion be involved, no, that's not okay. Because that's a whack way to lose your belt. Because now we have a new champion. It'll be champion versus champion in WrestleMania. And Bobby just lost the belt like that. So, really? If this was the whole plan, why did Bobby need to win that match at Royal Rumble? Why shouldn't have Brock just won that and then have a different match here? Or defended his belt here and won and retained? A little different. But why lose to win again? It doesn't make much sense to me. And it's a little annoying to me. Because it's like, okay, yeah, wow, he killed, 4 members? But the 5th one wasn't even part of the match. Bobby didn't even get in the ring at any point. It's a little frustrating. I like Bobby, and so it's like, in WrestleMania 6 weeks away. There's no more pay-per-views in between here, right? So will Bobby get another one-on-one against Brock at a Raw or SmackDown? It's hard to say. Brock don't do Raw or SmackDown matches. He did one against Kofi, which barely qualifies as a match because it was like 8 seconds long. So he doesn't do that. So it's like, are we gonna get that, or is he just gonna show up for 6 weeks? I'm the champ. Hey, Roman, I'm the champ. Hey, Paulie, I'm the champ. Is that really what we're gonna do for 6 weeks? Come on. What I would have preferred then, if you could do that, if you can give us the one-on-one match, have Roman cost Brock, and then have Bobby lose to Brock later on in one-on-one. But the way we got there, the way we got to A to C, I don't like it because I don't like how we did B. So I'm a little conflicted because was I entertained to a degree? Yes, I was. I mean, yeah. The ending was funny. It was entertaining. The F5 segment, the spot was like, oh my god. But we just killed Rollins, Riddle, and AJ in seconds. Just why? Just because? Again, if Brock's gonna win, have Brock win then. But don't do it in seconds. Have a good match out of it. I guess that's what's really even more frustrating. So, it's hard because, I guess, that's why I said this is either you love her or you hate it. You either love Lesnar, you love the way this was done, oh my god, he's a beast. Or you hated it because it's just shitting on the other talent. Literally, Seth, Riddle, AJ eliminated in F5 by an F5 immediately that Brock showed up. And then Lashley doesn't even show up in the match. He's taken out, from inside the pod, actually. and then like the ending was just a funny segment of Theory and Lesnar. Yeah, it's like like I said, I don't. It's like no. I honestly, personally, I'm giving him down. I would have preferred a different winner. I don't need it. I didn't need the match to be champion versus champion on Mania. I didn't need that. So I'm giving it a down. So overall, how was the Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia? It was kind of a mixed bag because was the car looking strong? Yes, I mean the car for the Chamber of the Men looked amazing, and then look what we got. The women's one was fun. That was fun to me again, but also I felt like Alexa should have won that. But again, the match itself, at least that one was an actual Chamber match. And Lita, great performance by Lita. But then the Usos didn't even have an actual match. And then the Drew McIntyre one, I didn't care for. Honestly, Elimination Chamber comes. It doesn't even come to me. It wasn't even really it's not an A pay-per-view. And I don't even think it qualifies as a B pay-per-view. It felt like a C pay-per-view because it's just not. It's not what we wanted or needed. It's not. Some of the things didn't go the way I hoped, and I guess other people hope, I'm sure. So, yeah, the Elimination Chamber, to me personally, was a bit of a disappointment. And, yeah, and then Goldberg and Roman was also short, and no challenge for Roman at all. So, I was pretty excited heading into the pay-per-view, but walking out of the pay-per-view, I personally, to me, it's not an up. It's not even really in the middle. I have to give it a down. It just felt like a disappointment. Honestly, like many things disappointed. I've already gone through them. So yeah, I felt like we could have done more, or the way we did certain things just was not the right way to do them. So yeah, the chamber itself, I'm sorry, but I'm giving the Elimination Chamber a down. Let me know what you think in the comments, whether you agree with me, disagree with me. Let me know. I always like to hear other people's opinion because that's one of the fun parts about wrestling is hearing other people's opinion. And we'll see what comes for WrestleMania, which is 6 weeks away. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe the 6 weeks build will change that, but right now, is it exciting? Yes. And then the Ronda Rousey match was another one that was just like the whole stipulation kind of held the match back from actually being really great. It ended up just not being what it could have been. But yeah, down for the Elimination Chamber. This has been Brian Redgrave. Out.